Charlie woke up to the soothing sound of embers crackling in a fireplace. It was comforting. She looked around the room and it was beautiful. It was a mixture of earth tones. There were beautiful paintings of women and men and children who looked like her. Everything about this room represented goodness. You could just feel it. After she blinked a couple of times, she saw that she was pretty much surrounded by four beautiful women. When she looked into their faces, she saw peace and love. She'd never seen them before, but she felt as if she knew them. She felt as if they knew her. The woman sitting closest to her was, well, she was sitting, so she appeared to be tall. She had a dark complexion, salt and pepper locks that cascaded over her shoulders. When she looked deeper into her eyes, the connection ran deep. She's the first to speak. Well, hello. Welcome. Charlie responds, thank you. I, I, I don't know where I am, but it feels good to be here. Does that make sense? It makes perfect sense, my child. You will be here with us for a short while. Charlie feels a brief sense of disappointment. She's not sure that she wants to leave this place that is so safe. So very, very safe. She closes her eyes for a moment and she looks slightly to the right, and the woman sitting there is looking at her intensely. But again, there's love. So much love. Well, how do you feel, little one? Um, I feel good. I feel weightless. That is the first word that comes to mind. Well, that's a good one because basically that is what you are. That is where you are. There's no weight here. There's just light. Charlie looks a little bit further to the right, and the woman sitting there is, she's a light complexion, the lighter of the four women. And she has laughing eyes. There's peace, but she looks as if she wants to just break into a big smile. And that is what she does. And when she speaks, it's almost like bells ringing. That probably sounds a little weird, but that's a very nice sound. Well, you're probably wondering where you are and why you are here. And we will do our best to explain at least some of it. But just relax. Just relax. As Minka said, you'll be with us for a short while. But you'll be going back to the wonderful life that you had to leave for a minute. Charlie is beginning to remember some things. It's cold and there's snow. There is danger. But she didn't expect that. So that was a huge surprise. There is this need to protect someone, something. It becomes clear, and she sees a young pregnant woman, very pregnant. And then this man comes toward her with a knife raised. It's not raised toward her, and it's not even raised. It doesn't appear as if he's trying to hurt the woman first, but he's aiming at the unborn child. All Charlie remembers is being compelled to protect this child. She she felt pain, but it was fleeting. She just knew that she had to stop this man from harming this baby. She looks into the face of the last woman, and she's obviously very tall. She has a dark complexion. There is peace and there is fire in her eyes. She speaks. My name is Saida, and we can tell from your eyes and the pain that we feel coming from you, that is surrounding you, that you are remembering some of the events of this day. It's okay. It's okay to remember. There will be reckoning for what happened to you. All you have to do now is just be. It's okay. The next person to speak is Minka. We are so sorry, more than we can even express to you, that you had to face that ordeal. And it is not for any of us to question why it had to be so. But God's will must be done, and it will always be right because it will fulfill His purpose. And since that is why we are all here, or in this case, there, just know that all will be well. I I don't understand, and I don't want to be pushy, but can you tell me who you are? Becca speaks. Well, what do you know about ancestral beings? Well, I've had some conversations with my Gigi. That's my great grandmother. I call her my Gigi. And we have talked about just about everything. When that topic came up, I was fascinated. I've always been fascinated. And she tried to help me to understand that she never mentioned ancestral visits from men to men, but our conversation was pretty much covered women. And then she kind of sits back a little bit and she says, "You're my ancestors." Sophia says, "Well, yeah, we are." She says, "Oh, you are beautiful. Not just your physical appearance, but your spirits are so, they're beautiful." Saida says, "Yes, we are. But then so are you." I, I'm very pleased with me. overall. I strive to be better. I want to be better. I fall short a lot, but I want to be a better person every day. Becca speaks. Oh, that will happen. You have time. God doesn't expect us to be all that we can be instantly. It's about growth and our faith and everything. You are a warrior. I know. I've told myself that I'm getting better and worrying less, but some days I'm not sure if that's true. Sophia speaks. Oh, it's a journey. It's a journey, baby. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes several decades to get there. The one thing about growing older, I was going to say getting older, but I like to think of it as growing older because we're supposed to grow as we age. We're certainly not supposed to regress. And we don't want to stay in the same place. We need to grow. But we have to be open for it. Wisdom can't get in if we've got the door locked, which means we have to be open minded. See, what you're experiencing right now, you have to be open minded. You have to understand that love is all encompassing. And when we leave this earth, I mean, God made us. We're His children. We're always His children. He doesn't forget about us when we pass away. Family bonds are so strong. Living in the world is so taxing. It is so challenging. It's so hard. So, have I passed away? Minka laughs. Oh no. You're just resting. You're just resting. What we do is when it's needed, we show up to make these little intermittent periods of rest a little bit easier. We wish we could make it easier on the people waiting for you to wake up, but we can't. Although your Gigi will understand. It suddenly hits Charlie that if she's resting, as they call it, that her family is worried about her. The look of distress is clearly in her face, in her body. Minka continues to speak. It's okay. It's okay. Your Gigi will help them, as she always does, to relax. She will remind them that God is in control. She will pray with them and she will encourage them to pray individually as well. Sometimes people forget that. They forget. And for so many different reasons, people don't quickly remember that they can talk to God. He's always there. I'm not saying that she'll make it easier on them because it'll be hard for her too. It'll be hard. It's always hard. But when you wake up, they will be able to rejoice in that. Will they forget? No, not all of them. Well, not any of them. Sophia says, and especially that fine husband of yours. Charlie closes her eyes. She remembers being in the hospital, waking up, being afraid. There are people holding her, and she needs to get up. She needs to sit up. She needs to leave this place. Her head is hurting and her chest is hurting. A lot of things are hurting. But she still has to go. She has to go, and she's pushing, and she feels two sets of arms, and she hears someone speaking to her, and they're saying, you can't get up. You have to stay still." And she's saying, "No." And then she hears Sebastian say, "Stop." It it throws her because Sebastian never yells. He just doesn't. But he yells. They stop. They don't let her go, but they stop trying to force her back on the bed. She stops. Hearing his voice, knowing that he's there, he is suddenly there. He says, "Please just let her go. Just please let her go." Charlie hears a male voice say, "Let her go." The other people holding her remove their hands, and Sebastian very gently pulls her into his arms. His heart is racing. He doesn't speak. He's holding her. It's how he manages to enfold her into his arms without hurting her is pretty much amazing. It, she wants to reassure him. She wants to tell him it's okay, but she can't speak. She doesn't want to leave his arms. She needs his strength. She can't think. She just wants to not be here. She wants him to take her away. Who she now feels is probably the doctor. He says, I'm sorry, but family, he says, this is my wife. Okay, your wife needs to be still. We must run tests to find out what is going on with her. When they brought her in, she was unconscious. We suspect that she has a concussion. She has a knife wound on her side. And we need to find out what else is going on. So please, let us do what we can to make sure that your wife is okay. Sebastian hears him. He understands what he's saying, but for a split second, he can't imagine letting her go. Like her, he just wants to take her out of here and pretend this never happened. This cannot be happening. This cannot be happening to Charlie. It cannot be happening to his wife. It cannot be happening. But it is. It did. And he has to let her go. He very gently. He didn't even know he could be that gentle. But he puts her back onto this pillow and he holds her face between both of his hands and he says, baby, the doctor has to check you out. She looks into his eyes and she says, please take me home. He has to close his eyes because she has never asked him for anything. She doesn't ask anyone for anything. And he can't give it to her. His heart was already broken. When he got the call, he couldn't even think. He did not think. When he walked into the room and saw them trying to hold her down, his mind went blank. And he cannot take her home. All of this is rushing back into Charlie's mind. All of it, even Sebastian's thoughts. And her heart breaks because they love each other. Their love is it's phenomenal.